So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a tinfoil rose with a stem and a nice little leaf, all made out of tinfoil and our hot glue gun. So the first thing I did is I looked up a picture of a rose so I can kind of see what I need it to look like. So they're really close together in the middle, and then as they get further out, they're a little more spaced. Then I also looked up a rose petal, because really what we're doing is we're making a ton of rose petals and kind of putting them together. So we're going to make this out of tinfoil. So my rose petal shape is kind of almost like a mix between a heart and like an oval. So I'm just going to kind of try to make these kind of shapes. Anything like that looks like almost like an oval or a circle, you'll be good with. So we're going to start in the middle, do the middle first. And that's kind of like a bud of them. So it's a whole bunch of like tiny little rose petals together. So as long as you kind of have almost just like a ball to start with, that's what I'm going to do. So remember, I'm going to try and make this like tinier than my hand with the tinfoil because we don't want to waste anything. So I'm going to just create kind of a small ball first, because then I'm going to be gluing all the petals to this. So I'm going to start gluing the petals to this. Since the balls are small, we're going to start with small petals. So I'm going to just tear off kind of pieces like this and then crinkle them to make them smaller. And then I'm just going to try and make them a little thicker so they're stronger and then also tinier. So I'm just folding back the sides. So then once I got kind of a petal shape, then I will glue it to the side. So I'm going to make actually a couple of these kind of size petals, and then I'll glue them all at the same time. So I'm just with my tinfoil, I'm tearing off little sections like this, and then I'm just folding them to make it a little stronger. And then I want them to be kind of this size and almost like a circle or like a heart shape. Just as long as they have a little bit of curve to them. All right, so I'm going to keep on going, make a couple of them, and then I will glue them on. Okay, now that I got a couple petals, I'm going to start gluing them, so you can kind of choose whichever ones you want. I'm going to put just a drop of glue and then stick this to the sides and then kind of fold it to wrap around the center. So a tiny bit of glue. Trying to keep my fingers away from the hot glue because we don't want to burn ourselves. Stick it and then kind of curve it around that center. Okay, and then when I add my second one, I'm going to overlap them just a little bit. So I'm going to kind of put the tinfoil on the other one so they're overlapping. So here I got that. So they're kind of one on top of each other. So I'm going to just add the rest of the petals and then I'll show you what kind of size petals to do next. Okay, so here I have kind of the start of my rose. We can see the little individual petals a little bit. So now that I did some small ones, we're gonna just keep on going bigger in size. So instead of making them kind of really small, I'm just gonna tear it a little bit more, and I'm not gonna fold them as small. So they're gonna be a little bit bigger size. And then if you ever want to just check, you can kind of put it up and see, oh, is that too big? Or should I make it smaller? Or did I make it too small? But you want to slowly get kind of bigger. So I'm just going to make now a couple more bigger ones. And then I'll add this to the rose just like we did before. Okay, so I have a couple more petals now made. I'm gonna do the same thing where I am gluing them onto my flower. I'm gonna start with like the smaller ones and go around with those first and then gradually get to kind of the larger ones. Alright, so with your rose or flower, you can decide how big you want it. Right now it's kind of pretty small, but I can just keep on making bigger petals and add them on to make it the size I want. So I'm going to add maybe just a couple more petals, and then I will show you how you can create a stem and a leaf if you want. Alright, so I think I'm going to leave my flower at this size. It's nice and smaller than my hand. So now I'm going to create a stem and then add a flower. So for the stem, we're just going to need a nice long piece of tinfoil, and I'm going to rip this in half. And then you're just going to roll it in, or roll or fold into a long piece. So the only biggest thing is we have to make sure we have enough tinfoil so it's nice and strong. So I'm crinkling it up and we're kind of rolling it. Make like a long circle for our, or not long circle, like a long stick almost. Alright, now I'm just going to kind of crunch this together so the tinfoil sticks to each other. Alright, so then you can kind of see if the stem is long enough or too long. I might make mine a little shorter, so to make mine shorter, I'm just going to fold it over, and then I'm going to crunch it to be kind of the same size as down here. Alright, then when you have it the size you want, then you're just going to glue this to the flower, the stem to the flower. Okay, so now we have our flower on our nice stem. If for some reason you don't like how it looks back here, you can always add more tinfoil and make it like blend a little bit more. I'm going to just show you how to add like a leaf. So our leaf is like a football shape, so I'm just going to crinkle up this tinfoil kind of by folding it to try and make a like a circle or like a football shape. Here I've got a nice point, so I'm just going to try and fold this. I'm going to make mine a little smaller since the rose is a little bit smaller. Alright. Then wherever you would like it, you're just going to add the glue, keep your fingers away, and then stick it on. And then you might have to let it dry for a little bit. But that is our now rose.